Yeah, I mean, when you get a letter like that from the Standards Commissioner, I mean, I've only just been there over a year and I thought, oh, God, here we go. You know, of course, I didn't...
You're always causing trouble, Claire.
But genuinely, you sort of said we bravely stood up and made these speeches. We didn't. We weren't brave. We were making serious points in an amendment, and it was a very good debate. So you don't expect to be kind of reprimanded, do you? And then when you find out that it's all right, we're not proceeding, but actually that was on the basis of a technicality because it was a third-party complaint, you realise that parliamentary privilege is under attack. I mean, to tell the rest of the story, the great news was I was kind of so grateful they hadn't prosecuted me or what have you, that I sort of didn't do anything. But the other Lords said, no, this is very serious. And then there was a debate in the Lords, and I thought I'd just read you what parliamentary privilege is, because I think it's so important to have it clear, where it says, anything said on the floor of the House or in committee is protected as a result of Article 9 of the 1688 to 89 Bill of Rights, which is a foundation document, that the freedom of speech and debates or proceedings in Parliament may not be impeached or questioned in any court or place out of Parliament. So it's a very important foundation for our democratic freedoms. And that's why I think that it's good that this has been drawn to everyone's attention. And I hope that we can actually fight against any encroachment on parliamentary privilege.
Well, I completely agree. And Claire, you have to admit, though, it's telling, isn't it, that this was over the trans debate, because it's moves like this, even though the complaint was dismissed, that do make a lot of people fearful of even speaking about trans issues, no matter what they believe. And it's chilling to me that you could have parliamentarians in either house who feel that way.
Yeah, I think the obvious problem for this is that it has a chilling impact, because immediately you think, oh, maybe I won't speak on that topic again. There's a degree of self-censorship. And I have to say that I've been rather nervous about speaking on that topic. But there are other topics, you know, there's a kind of list of things you are not allowed to say. But, you know, you're a journalist and you'll know that there are special privileged areas of free speech. We have press freedom, that we say there's a particular press freedom to speak out, and yet we've seen that press freedom is constantly under attack from legal assault, privacy claims and so on, and it makes you think again before you speak. And you also have academic freedom, where you're meant to be able to probe and ask questions and push back orthodoxies, and yet academics are the victims of you know, cancel culture and no platforming. So what we've got is those special areas of free speech, not because academics, journalists or parliamentarians, goodness knows, are privileged or should be specially protected because they're so good, but that's because the foundation of democracy for everybody, all of the public, requires that they are given a little bit of leeway.
Yeah, and absolutely, when it comes to journalism, let me tell you, it has been well and truly eroded, so we need to make sure it's not being eroded for politicians. Just finally, Claire, I want to pick up on the transphobe claim, right? Because we had Caitlyn Jenner on the show last night, and there she is, you know, the most famous trans woman in the world, you would actually argue, top athlete herself. She doesn't think people that are biologically born male should be able to compete in women's sport, which to me is a common sense position. She's been called a transphobe too. How do we as a society tackle that word so that we can have conversations about controversial trans issues without feeling like we're immediately going to be called a transphobe?
The whole issue has become very toxic. There's no doubt about it. I'm afraid that the attitude of saying that if you assert women's rights biologically and say that transgender women are not biological women, that can get you the transphobe label, means that we can't actually have a rational, serious debate. The interesting thing about this particular amendment on prisons, by the way, was it was focusing on protecting trans women who might be under assault in the male prison estate, and saying that there should be special provision made for them. So it wasn't even an attack on trans women at all. It was actually
but there's no
rather
nuance
sensitive.
when
But it doesn't make
conversations.
It doesn't make any difference what anybody says or tries to be sensitive. Just doesn't work. You're still going to get the labels thrown at you.